Hello, I'm Benny Westside, and welcome to my spoiler discussion of What If Iron Man Crashed into the Grandmaster, the fourth episode of season 2 of What If on Disney Plus. Uh, Again, this is a spoiler talk. I'm going to be discussing everything. I've been doing these daily, and I plan to do so. So if you want to keep with the party, I hope you like and subscribe because I'm going to post them in the coming days as well. And then once the season ends, we're going to do a panel discussion with a couple of my friends that I'm really looking forward to. And I would love to see you there as well. So now we're going to talk about this episode. This is the lost episode from last season, basically. They had to cut it, either budget or timing. They didn't have time to rush it because of when Disney wanted to release it or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this got cut. This is Gamora is the one from the last season finale. I don't know in what world they said, okay, we have to cut one episode. Let's cut this one and do the Party Thor episode. Like, I don't understand. The decision must have come after they made that other episode, because this was phenomenal. This was such a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. And that Thor episode last season was really quite a lull in the middle of the season and didn't feel good. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about this one. I had a great time. Overall, like, Iron Man's design was so good. It was really enjoyable to watch. Let me get into the story of it quickly, and then we can talk about small, items and things that I noticed. The idea here is that Iron Man lands on Sakaar at the end of the Battle of New York, where as he's falling back through the wormhole, it closes before he can fall back into New York. So he ends up in Sakaar, which I knew, because this was teased from the last season finale, that there was going to be a Gamora Iron Man Sakaar episode. I knew he was going to be here, but I was actually literally, as I started playing, wondering how they were going to bring Tony to Sakaar, because like he never really had that kind of tech, I guess, until Age of Ultron when Hulk went there. So maybe I thought that's how it was going to be. But the porthole thing with the Battle of New York, I thought was very clever. I really loved that idea. That was great. And because he had defeated Thanos' army, once he lands in Sakaar, he already has a name for himself, which was really cool. So here, Grandmaster is not doing gladiator battles at this point, but doing car races, and he forces Iron Man to watch it. Which, let me say, the voice of Tony Stark was not RDJ, but he was so close to him that if I didn't know, I would have thought it was RDJ. It was a really good voice actor, or imitator, I guess. I don't know. It was really good. I think the only one that didn't reprise their role was Gamora, which was really, really noticeable. And somehow Valkyrie's voice also didn't sound like her, even though it was Tessa Thompson. And I thought it was pretty cool that they got Josh Brolin back for that tiny little scene. That was really cool. Anyway, okay, so he's in Sakaar. He's watching the fights. Something happens. There's crashes all over. Valkyrie's there as one of his champions or one of his fighters, and in this case they're drivers. So she falls out of her car. So they throw chinchillas at her, which, the chinchilla was really cute. There's a scene where they're feeding the chinchilla, and chinchilla poops in Korg's hand. That was really cool. It was a cute animation. Then the Grandmaster releases his hound, basically, which is a giant beast that's about to kill Gamora, and no, not Gamora, Valkyrie, and Iron Man just steps in, or tries to step in, flies into the field, to kill the beast, but his suit is malfunctioning. Then at that point, Gamora comes in, kills the beast. She's there to kill Tony Stark because at this point she's still loyal to Thanos. So she's here to either kill Tony or take him to Thanos. But like she's trying to kill him. And at that point, I think the Grandmaster's forces step in and then put them all in a cell. They very quickly break out. Tony's arc reactor in his chest is able to disable the stunning device that even took down the God of Thunder. Anyway, so they escape. Iron Man and Korg strike up an alliance, and Iron Man decides before he escapes and goes back to Earth, he needs to save this planet from this tyrant, because he uses a cool phrase from the scouts, and he says like, leave the campsites better than when you got there. So that was cool. It was like very heroic of him, I guess, which shows his development. I don't know if in Avengers he was that idealistic yet, the first Avengers movie, but anyway, it was fine. So he and Korg strike up a deal. They go and recruit Valkyrie from a bar to help their cause. At some point, Tony calls Korg Mount Rushmore, which I found really hilarious. The writing in this episode was really funny. I really liked it. Jeff Goldblum's delivery, Iron Man's voice actor's delivery. Let me look at his name. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, the delivery was perfect from everyone. The writing was great. Anyway, they recruit Valkyrie and they build another Iron Man suit for him. And this one is kind of like a Hulkbuster size, and it's very cool. So Iron Man hacks into the projection system that the Grandmaster has, where he has like a hologram in the city, and he invites the Grandmaster to a duel to be the king of Sakaar, which there was no reason for the Grandmaster to accept that, but in his hubris he did. And it's kind of yada yada, and nothing's really quite explained. But anyway, Korg and Valkyrie are in a car, Gamora's in a car, Iron Man's in a car, Grandmaster himself is in a car, and then the Grandmaster's first in command, that lady with the the stern face, she's also in a car, and they're racing. And people crash, some people die, not die, but people are incapacitated. It classic movie race scene. It was fine. Sorry, the Iron Man actor is Mick Wingard, and I thought he was great. Anyway, so during the race, at some point, Iron Man's car is busted, and he, with the Hulkbuster style suit, he jumps up, and the suit disassembles off of him, and Tony's in midair, and it reassembles into a car. That animation was gorgeous. It was mind-blowing. I loved it. That looked so good. And then he eventually wins the fight. The Grandmaster's oh no, it was a tie, I win, whatever. He was being a bitch, basically. Anyway, and then he calls in his first in command, Topaz, and as she's trying to come in, Valkyrie crashes into her car, and then that rod that melts people hits the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster melts. Anyway, they win. The thing is, throughout, when they escape the cell, Gamora is trying to kill Tony. Then they stun Gamora and escape. They, as in Tony and Korg. And at that point, like, Gamora's their enemy. She's here to kill. And then when they land into the battle or the race track, Tony sees that Gamora is there for some reason. Tony sees the good or the potential for good in Gamora, which we know she has it. We've seen Gamora's arc in the main timeline. We've seen even the Gamora from the other timeline being turned by her sister with proof that her other alternate self had turned. Like, it took a while for that Gamora to turn as well. I don't know how Tony decided that this Gamora has potential for good, but throughout the race, he connects to her car audio. Like, he puts an audio device there, and he tries to convert her. There was, like, that was the one downside of this episode for me. Like, there was nothing that even hinted that Gamora might be good. I didn't understand why Iron Man did that, because let's go back to the Captain America and Civil War, where Tony Stark had no reason whatsoever to think that Bucky Barnes could be redeemed. But for Gamora, somebody he has not met, nobody's vouched for, whereas like Steve Rogers is vouching for Winter Soldier. Anyway, it that's the one part that didn't make any sense at all. But, you know, I guess we knew that Gamora was gonna be redeemed because in the other timelines she does, and at the end of this story we know that she goes on to be a guardian of the multiverse. I don't know. That was the big thorn of this story for me. Anyway, at the end, Gamora does something to like sacrifice her stake in the race to protect Tony's, so Tony can move ahead. She kills like some obstacle creatures, whatever. Like in the race, not even face to face, through audio, they convert her. It's similar to how Howard Stark was able to talk down the Winter Soldier in episode 1, but even there, at least, I didn't love that, but Howard and Bucky knew each other. Anyway, I maybe I'm rambling too much on this. I didn't like that, but it happened. Anyway, the race is over. Instead of cheering for Tony, everybody cheers for Valkyrie. So they're like, oh, I guess you're the King of Sakaar. So we got King Valkyrie again. I guess her destiny, her multiversal destiny, her cosmic destiny is to be king. So that was cool. She became King of Sakaar. And one of the cute things was, like, these people don't know that his name is Tony Stark. They don't know that his alter ego is Iron Man. They call him Metal. What do they call? Metal Mojo Man or something. That was cute. Anyway, at the end, Gamora's like, okay, like we're buddy now, but I cannot go empty-handed to Thanos. So they take the melting rod, and then they go to Thanos as if Gamora's turning Iron Man in, but then they just incinerate, or like they melt Thanos with the stick. So in this universe, they even eradicate Thanos that way, pretty easily. But anyway, I guess he didn't have any Infinity Stones on him at that point. And he wasn't expecting a betrayal. So I still loved it, even with that massive, I'm gonna say it was a plot hole or logic error. Anyway, even with that, I loved it. But I think I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because of that. I just loved it. It was so cool. Iron Man looked so cool. That one scene with the car, like him disassembling and reassembling as a car, I loved it. I'm gonna rewatch that scene. Um, Other than that, do I have anything else to say? This was the only one with an end credit scene, so if you didn't catch that, you might want to. There's nothing, like it's nothing special, but it, like the Grandmaster has melted, but he hasn't died for some reason. His face is in the puddle, and he asks Topaz to get a sponge. He wants to be soaked up into something. It's not the best, but maybe you'll get a kick out of it. I didn't find it particularly interesting, but as I said, this is the first episode so far, I believe, unless I really missed something, that had an end credits scene this season. So in the upcoming episodes, I will definitely be waiting to see if there is one, which I have been so far, but I think in episode 1 maybe I didn't. Anyway, I'll make sure to see if there's anything. I think that was it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. The last 2 episodes have been really phenomenal. The first 2 were good too, but these past 2 were really good. I hope it just keeps at this pace. I'm really enjoying this show and this season. I'm looking forward to more of these discussions. I hope you come join me again. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.